What's going on, guys? Scottie Rapp back with another video. Today, I am going to be going over a quick product tutorial, application process, how to really navigate the eight main carriers that we work here with in FFL. I'm going to be going over Americo, Mutual of Omaha, American Amicable, Transamerica. I'm going to also be going over AIG, Aetna, and Prosperity for you guys and just giving you a little overview on which companies to use in which situations. And also, guys, just giving you a little bit of understanding as far as how to pivot and making sure that you guys understand like the quoting tools in each product within each carrier that we work with here in FFL. So the first carrier I am going to focus on is Americo. Guys, if you need a good website to get to the point where it's like you see all the carriers and then you can navigate from there, you're going to want to go over to fflamerica.com/quote. Okay, this is going to bring you to this website, and this is the quoting engine. So as we all know, we lead with Americo here. We are going to run about 80% of our business with Americo. They have one very good whole life plan that we use here, guys, called the Eagle Premier Plan. Okay. One thing you need to understand about this plan, the application process is very simple. This plan, during the time of this recording, goes from ages 40 to 85. And they also give an instant decision during the time of the application. Okay, guys. So the carriers that give an instant underwriting decision is going to be Americo, is going to be Prosperity, and is going to be AIG SIWL. Now, AIG has two versions of their whole life plan. They have the SIWL, which is simplified issue whole life. Okay. That typically goes from like 5,000 to 35,000, depending on age. They're going to give you an instant underwriting decision during the application on whether or not the client is approved for the level or the graded plan, which graded plan just means 2-year waiting period. Level plan means immediate coverage, which is next day coverage, which basically means like if the client pays their first premium and they pass away the following month, the full death benefit is going to get paid out. Now, the graded plan has a 2-year wait. So if they pass in the first year, the company's going to pay out 30% of the death benefit. On the second year, if they pass, they're going to pay out 70% of the death benefit. After the 2-year mark, guys, the full death benefit is payable. Graded plans are typically for people that just had a stroke, cancer, heart attack, something along those lines within the last 12 to 24 months. There are certain underwriting guidelines within the underwriting quotes as well, which you can always go over to Slack right here, guys. So Slack is a good way for you guys to track your business. You just go to the FFL America page and you can always type in like your client's age. You can type in your client's health conditions, and they're going to recommend a plan to you right here. There's about 6 or 7 different underwriting genies, we call them. They'll get back to you within a minute or two. So make sure you guys are in the FFL America Slack channel. In-home help is the channel that you want to be in. And, just type in your client's situation, and then they're going to recommend a product to you right there based on the underwriting guidelines. So AIG has SIWL, and then they have GIWL. GIWL is for clients 50 to 80. It's a guaranteed issue plan. It's the last resort for a client. These are for the clients that, have active cancer, have HIV, or just had a heart attack last month. 2-year waiting period for that. That one's called a return of premium. So there's 2 different types of graded policies. There's graded, which is the 30% first year, 70% second year. Then you have the return of premium, which means if the client is 6 months into their policy paying into it and they pass, the company will pay out all of the premiums plus an additional 10% on top of that. That's a return of premium graded plan, not to be confused with Americo term, CBO 100, or return of premium from a term standpoint. Those are referring to like at the end of a term policy, you get all the money back. That's different concepts than what we're speaking of right now, which is whole life. So we're going to be talking about whole life first. that's pretty much in a nutshell, like the level and the graded options as far as like AIG and the other carriers. Every company has a version of graded or a return of premium. American Amicable has one. Aetna has one. Aetna calls their 2-year wait modified. Mutual of Omaha has a graded plan along with level coverage with their Living Promise product. And American Amicable also has a return of premium option if the client can't get the immediate coverage, and then Prosperity has 3 as well. So they have a level plan, which once they sign the first email during the application with Prosperity, they're going to tell you if they qualify for level, graded, or modified. Modified is a little downgraded as far as the health class, but graded or level, I'll usually sell depending on if the client is in a position to be able to accept that type of coverage, or that's their only option left. But first and foremost, guys, just to recap on that, the companies that are going to give you an instant decision during the application, if it's immediate, graded, or return of premium, is Americo. Okay. It's also AIG, SIWL, and it's also Prosperity. They're going to give you a decision right after the client signs the first HIPAA form during the application, whether that's an email or that's a text signature. Okay. Aetna, they just upgraded. They do kind of give you an instant decision now at the end of the application. They're going to give you a chance to advocate for the client based on what they see on the medical record. And then they'll determine if they're going to get preferred, standard, or modified. So there's somewhat of an immediate decision now as well. And American Amicable, about 80% of the time, will give you an instant decision as well. Sometimes these companies will send it to underwriting and they'll take a look at it for 2 or 3 days before they give the decision. But Americo, AIG, and Prosperity, those are going to be your go-tos for the immediate decision. And the first one we're going to look at product-wise is Americo. So if we go right over to Americo, guys, here, the first product we'll look at is the Eagle Premier. Like I said, this is a whole life policy, right? It builds cash value. So as the client is paying their premium on a month-to-month basis, they're going to build interest and equity within their plan. And they're also going to be able to access that money down the road if they need to. And it's also going to come with living benefits, meaning, God forbid, the client ever becomes terminally ill. There's a terminal illness rider in the plan, which states that the client would be able to receive half of the death benefit up front early if they're diagnosed with a terminal illness of any kind. They can get advanced half the death benefit up front early if they need to. Okay, those are your main selling points per se with the Eagle Premier plan. Also this is the only company as well that has a smoker advantage program. Okay, so basically what that means, guys, is like if your client's a smoker, that they're going to charge them an extra $20, $30, $40 a month in premium if you put them with any other company, where Americo, they're going to give them a non-smoker rate for the first 3 years of the policy. Okay, so it's going to give the client time to quit smoking. And then after that, guys, the client has 2 options, right? So basically the options are like, if they are actually quitting smoking, they can either keep the face amount level, right? And, increase their premium. So keep the same face amount and increase the premium if they're still smoking after the 3 years. And then if they're done, if they are done smoking, they keep the same plan that they're on. But if they are not done smoking, they can keep the same plan, increase the premium, or they can keep the same premium and take a smaller death benefit. So it's up to them at that point. The point of the matter is America's going to treat them like a non-smoker for the first 3 or 4 years, within the policy. So like I said, this plan goes from ages 40 all the way to 85, instant decision. And then from there, guys, it also has double accidental already built in, right? So if I go quote, a $40,000 plan for a 50-year-old male and he's a non-smoker per se, for example, it's going to be $148 per month. They're going to get the living benefits, so they can access 50% of the death benefit early in case of terminal illness. This plan also has triple indemnity for travel. meaning, if they die while they're traveling, whether that's a plane, train, boat, or cruise, anything where they're a ticketed passenger, like they bought a ticket, they were traveling and they pass, America will actually triple that death benefit to 120,000 and double accidental. So if it's just a regular accident, which an accident in life insurance is considered as any outside force coming upon the body resulting in death, they'll pay out 80,000 into this plan. A lot of companies make you add it on separate. America, it's already built in. You have the smoker advantage plan, and you also have the living benefits, and the premiums are level all the way to age 120. So cash value, living benefits, double accidental, triple indemnity for travel. Okay. And then from there, you have the smoker advantage program. Now, if you're going to go right the app, right, you're going to go right over to the Americo whole life application, and you're going to get right into the application. I can give you guys a quick example of that. This would be right here. So say I was going to, go write an application for a client with Americo. I would log right into the application section here. I would click the state. We'll just put in like Arizona, for example. We'll put in a 50-year-old, right? There's going to be two options. You're going to write all your Eagle Premier clients right here. Just going to click on the computer. It's going to bring you right into the application, and you can just get going on it. It just has a text code too. So basically, like, the signature process is very simple for this application. You send a text code right to the client, 6-digit number that counts as their signature. Very simple, no email, no voice signature. And if you want to do an illustration, you can also touch this button as well. But text signature, very simple, instant decision there with Americo. Okay, so next thing, we'll just stay on Americo real quick. They also have some other really great products, right? Another one that I really like to use for my people that are 20 to 60 years old is the CBO 100. Okay. So this is a 30-year term policy. Typically, this is going to be for your younger folks, people that are a lot better health wise. Very hard to qualify for term in general because they take the medical background. They scan that a lot more in depth with term. So just be cautious. Make sure that you're doing like the medical inventory very thoroughly before you recommend any of the term policies, which is CBO 100, CBO 50, continuation 25 or 10, or term 125 or 100. Those are all the term policies with Americo. Today, I'm just going to be discussing like the CBO 100 real quick. So basically, you get an option to have, either a 15, 20, 25, or 30-year term. This is going to be for your clients that, need more coverage. They're willing to pay a little bit more. They're in perfect health. You're going to be able to go from $25,000 to $450,000 in coverage without a medical exam. You will get an instant decision during the application with this particular product. Okay, the beautiful thing about this, right, is it's going to be coverage for 30 years. If they become terminally, critically, chronically ill, or sick, it has 3 living benefits: critical illness, chronic illness, and terminal illness. They can access half of this money up front early if they need to, which is in the form of living benefits. Okay, or if they can't perform 2 of the 6 daily living requirements, like feeding themselves, bathing themselves, that would also qualify here as an option to be able to access about 50% of their cash value as well within their policy, or not their cash value, their death benefit. So living benefits is a super great aspect to this plan. They can pull half of the face amount early if they become critically, chronically, terminally ill, or sick. And the beautiful thing about this plan too, guys, is at the end of the term, remember, this is a cashback option. That's CBO 100. They are going to basically get all the money back that they ever put into the plan over the course of the 30-year period. So if you do some math right there, guys, let me just do some quick math for you. That's $113 a month times 12 months. times 30 years. If this 20-year-old client lives past, the 30-year mark, which would be age 50, they'll get about $41,000 back in the form of a check from America because it's a return of premium term. Okay. So all companies that we work with, most of them have a return of premium option. CBO 100 is going to allow you to go up to 450,000 for that particular product right there. So same thing for CBO 50. So basically, this is the same type of plan right here, the CBO 50, except they'll get half of the money back that they put in, for the 30-year, 20-year period. It's a little cheaper per month, but they're getting half the money back at the end of the term period. The ADB is another good tack-on product. This is just a straight accidental plan, very cheap, right? You have $100,000 option, $150,000 option, $200,000 and $250,000 option. You could do the $250,000 option for $48 a month. Only applies if the client passes away in an accidental death, but that's a lot of money that will get paid out to the family in that event. If they don't pass away in that accident, they'll still get $1,000, which is good to know, but it's only $48 a month if a client is young, and they need some good accidental coverage. This is a great product to run as well. And then the last one I'll go over here, guys, is I'll go over the term 125. Basically, this is just going to be like the same parameters as the CBO. It's going to go from 25,000 all the way to 450,000 on an instant decision you're going to get during the application. It's a level term, no return of premium, which means you're not going to get the money back when everything is said and done. But you can get a lot of coverage for temporary, 20, 30, 15 years, whatever the case may be. And you won't get the money back at the end, but it's very affordable. Term 125 pretty much means that 25% as well will pay out if the client dies in any form of accidental death, just so you guys know. Not to be confused with the term 100. It's the same plan as term 125. Only term 125 is going to pay out an extra 25% if they die in an accident. Term 100, just a flat term, no accidental built in. The continuation 25 is also a great product here. Another term that you can go 30 years for. Okay. Basically, if you're going to do 100,000, right, in coverage for let's just say a 30-year-old, right? 100,000 in coverage for 30 years. After the 30-year period, like they're gonna have the 100,000 for 30 years. Okay, so if they die in that 30-year period, 100,000 pays out. Continuation pretty much means that at the end of the term, they're gonna be able to keep a death benefit of whole life coverage for 25% of the original death benefit amount, which was 100,000. So 25,000 they'll keep for the same premium for the rest of their life, which is very affordable at only $48 a month. That's pretty much everything for America. We went over ADB, CBO 100, CBO 50, continuation 25, Eagle Premier, and also the term 100, term 125 products. Now, next company I'll go to, guys, let's look at Mutual of Omaha next. So Mutual of Omaha, another great company that we work with and represent. They have a few great products here. Your whole life option is going to be the Living Promise. Okay, this plan is going to go from 2,000 all the way to 40,000. This is by far the cheapest whole life option that we offer out of all the carriers that we work with. So if you're trying to beat someone's price or you're trying to save somebody some money, mind you, Mutual of Omaha isn't always going to give you an instant decision during the application, but they're a little more strict with the underwriting, but they're going to go all the way to 40,000 like America. You can add on the accidental separate, so you can keep it off if you want. And it's going to go from ages 45 all the way to 85. Okay. It has the living benefits in it as well. So any terminal illness, the client can access half of the 40,000 early if they need to. And then they also have a nursing home nursing home confinement care rider, which pretty much means like if the client is in a nursing home, I think if it's for 60 or 90 days, they can access half of their, I think 50 to 80% of their death benefit as well, in the plan, for that particular rider. So that's a great one too. They have a level option and a graded option. Obviously, like when you do the application, if they can only qualify for graded, they will show you that. They will tell you that graded only goes from up to 20,000. It's a 2-year waiting period on that policy. The level is immediate coverage though. It's next day coverage. So that's another great product we use for whole life. That's our cheapest one that we work with. Another one here is Index Universal Life Express. Let's talk about this one next. So this is for your exclusive clients that are very health focused. They have great health. They're somewhat young. You can write the plan from age 18 all the way to 75. It gets a little hard to qualify for this plan, after age, I would say 60, depending on prescription history and medical records. But this plan is going to act a little very similar to a whole life plan, only it's an IUL. So it's indexed in the market, which means when the premiums go in, they're indexing the money with the S&P 500. The cap is 9.25 as of this recording right now with this particular product. Again, you're going to be able to go from 25,000 all the way to 300,000 in coverage. And you're also going to be able to get an instant decision with this particular plan as well, which is super beneficial. Only run this for people that are very, very healthy, that are looking for a little bit more coverage, something where their money is exercising in the plan and growing. You can pull the money down the road if you need to, tax-free from an IUL as well. Offers a pretty big death benefit. You go all the way up to 300,000, and it has a lot of living benefits. So critical, chronic, terminal illness riders all attached into the plan. It's going to act like somewhat of a permanent product as well. It's an IUL, so it's market dependent, but typically these plans are going to last the client all the way to age 120. Okay, so that's a great plan to use right there. They also have, children's whole life, if you have a client that has a child, right, anywhere from 0 to 17, you can put up to 9 grandchildren, I believe, on one application here. Each child can get up to 50,000 in coverage. So for example, like if you have a 5-year-old, they can get a $50,000 policy and it will build cash value. Obviously, the parent or the owner will be paying for the policy until they mature. But this is a great way for, like, if you wanted to get a jump on life insurance early, you can recommend this to your client. Only be $23 a month for a $50,000 plan, and that child would have that plan for the rest of their life at that price, with the living benefits, with the cash value accumulation, and that would pass down to their family when they end up passing later in life, the full 50,000. And you can put up to 9 grandchildren or children on one application, which is super beneficial with children's whole life. Another one we can look at is Term Life Express. I don't always write this one because I usually do my terms with America or American Amicable. Another term product that we use with Mutual of Omaha, very cost efficient. It's going to go from 25,000 to 300,000 in coverage. There's options for return of premium, just like the CBO 100 I just showed you with America. Only for the 30-year though. So if you're going to do a 30-year, definitely probably add on the return of premium depending on the client's preference and age. This particular product, is a great setup and actually pretty cost efficient. As far as term policies goes, right up to 300,000. They're going to give you a decision right away. Not all the time, but sometimes about 50-50, depending on medical history. And then you have like the term life answers. I don't really recommend, writing this unless a client wants a lot of coverage, absolutely needs it, like no questions asked. This is our highest paying product that we have in the company. So this one's going to go from 100,000 minimum. Can't even write this less than 100,000 all the way up to 65 million. Okay. And basically it's going to be a 10, 15, 20 or 30-year term, very cheap. You're going to be able to write it from people 18 to 80. But it does require a medical exam. So you always want to shoot for products that are going to give an instant decision, that are going to like just give you an instant decision medically and during the application. Like I said, guys, that's going to be like Americo, AIG, Prosperity. It's also going to be American Amicable about 80% of the time as well. But those are the main products that I write with Mutual of Omaha. The next company I'm going to look at here is probably going to be Prosperity. So I'm just going to go over their whole life plan here. So their whole life plan, right? They just changed it. Used to go down to 5,000. Now it goes only to 10,000, I believe. So the minimum face amount is going to be 10,000. I believe the maximum age, yeah, it goes from 55 to age 80. They're going to give an instant decision. They have a level option, graded and modified. They're going to give you that decision during the application. You can add on the accidental separate if you'd like. And this is called the New Vista product. So I like this one because Prosperity is going to give you a decision right away. I always like companies that are going to give us an instant decision. This plan is going to go up to 35,000 max in coverage. So you can just do the quotes right here. Basically, get right into the application this way, and look at the quotes and whatnot, and, use Prosperity if the underwriting genie is recommending that. They also have a term. I don't really write their term, but they do have a prime term and a family term option as well. Which that's another conversation today. I just want to stick to the basics, which is their New Vista product, whole life five. It goes from 10,000 to 35,000 from people 55 to 80. So that's another good one that we use right there. Again, you just log into your back office portal and you can basically, get right into the application. It's very simple. Next company I'll look at here is let's look at American Amicable. So American Amicable is going to be a very good company too. They have great products. Okay. So one of their products here that we use very regularly is called Senior Choice. Okay, this product's going to go from 5,000 all the way to 50,000 depending on age. This is one of our whole life options that does go up to 50,000. And I believe the age requirements are from age 50 all the way to 85 with this particular plan. So some companies are only going to go up to 80, like Prosperity that I just showed you. Mutual of Omaha, Americo, and Senior Choice with American Amicable are going to go up to 85. So clients over 80, I typically would probably put with American Amicable, great company out of Texas. They also have an immediate graded and return of premium option, which basically means like the immediate coverage, like I explained, next day coverage, next day payout. They have the graded, which is a 2-year wait, 30% first year, 70% second year, and return of premium. Under 65 years old, it's going to be a 3-year wait. Over 65 years old, it's going to be a 2-year wait for the return of premium with American Amicable. So that's basically the quote tool here. That's the Senior Choice plan with American Amicable. They also have another product that I use here called the Easy Term. So this is usually my go-to plan if the client was denied with Americo. So if a client is denied with Americo, I'll typically go right over to Easy Term with American Amicable. Their ages goes from 18 all the way to 70. Okay, Americo does go to 75. American Amicable is only going to go to 70. They do have a return of premium option as well, depending on age. They don't have that middle ground, which means like they don't have a 25 or a 15-year option. It's either 10, 20, or 30, depending on age. You're going to be able to write a term policy with them. They're going to give you the ability to advocate for the client at the end. Like if the client was denied with Americo for a certain prescription, you can run over to American Amicable at the end. The application is gonna tell you, well, is this prescription for XYZ? And you'll be able to answer on the client's behalf. Um, and if it's truthfully a no or whatever the case may be, they might just approve on the spot. which is really good with American Amicable. I like them for that. Their return of premium is a little different. It's a little cheaper than most other companies, but they only pay back 75% of the premiums that were put in over the course of the 20 or 30-year period. Just so you guys know that, it's like the term 100 or the CBO 100 with America, CBO 50, it's like the middle one. So this one pays out 75% back to the client at the end of the 20 or 30-year term. And that's pretty much that for you know, the products that I write with, you know, American Amicable. I really don't write any other products, you know, with them. So today I'm only going to be going over the products that I write. It's senior choice and it's easy term. There's another one called Family Choice. This is a whole life policy for people below age 50. It takes a couple days for underwriting to go through. So for my clients that are like under 40 and need whole life, I'll usually look at Transamerica. So Transamerica will jump into next. This is the quote tool for them. It's called Immediate Solution. So you can write this particular plan, guys, all the way down to age 0 for this particular immediate solution plan with Transamerica. This is another one of our whole life plans that go all the way up to coverage amount 50,000, depending on age. They do have a few different health classes. So if your client's super healthy, they might get the preferred non-tobacco or preferred tobacco, depending on, you know, like health conditions. And then, so those are different, like different tiers as far as health. And then you also are going to have, an option to go from 5,000 all the way to 50,000 with this particular plan as well. Next company we're going to look at is called Aetna. So if you click right on Aetna, it's going to bring you right to this page. In order to get to the quote tool, guys, you're going to click on Aetna Quote and Enroll version 2.0. Okay, they're a great company too. They're going to give you somewhat of an instant decision. And I say somewhat of an instant decision, it's because it's based on what comes up on their prescription check. So for example, you do have to put in the client's zip code, right, to actually run the quote. And say you got a client whose birthday is 8/1/1965, 57-year-old, right? You're gonna click the effective date, and then you're gonna click like if they're a smoker or not, and then a female or male. And then you're gonna go down to the final expense section, and you're gonna see that the client is gonna be offered 3 different plans. So the preferred level, this is gonna be for their healthiest individuals. Aetna is gonna make sure like they underwrite the client, and they're gonna give them one of the 3. Preferred is their highest health class. It's the cheapest next to Mutual of Omaha as far as pricing wise. They do have accelerated death benefit riders as well. You have to add on the accidental death benefit separate, but the standard plan is like a regular plan. It's still immediate coverage. It's like a little bit more expensive though, because whatever came up in their medical records, they couldn't get preferred. With this plan, like during the application, there's an option to choose like, hey, if this client can't get preferred, can we accept a standard plan or a modified plan? You can click that during the time of the application. Modified has a 2-year waiting period on their policy. It's a graded policy. It's a little bit more expensive than the other policies that we work with as far as graded coverage. So depending on age of the client, I might rate modified, but I'm usually always going to try to shoot for the preferred level. So, depending on the client's age, you can go all the way up to 50,000, right? So this client's 57. So, the cutoff is 40,000 max coverage for this particular age group. Some companies are like that, they might go up to 50,000 or 40,000, but there's requirements based on age. So just understand that. So if you wanted to do like 40,000, you would always click on the accelerated death benefit rider just because it's a free rider. And then you would just quote the premium, right? Which would be 136. You would add that to cart and then you would start the enrollment. And that would bring you right into the application. Okay. So the next part we're gonna go over here. So we went over America, we went over Mutual of Omaha, we went over Transamerica, we went over American Amicable, we went over Senior Choice with them and Easy Term. We went over Aetna. Like I said, Aetna only has one product. It's called Aetna Ascendo. That's the one I just showed you. Prosperity, I really only use one product for them. Which is the New Vista. AIG. So this one, like I was saying before, this is going to be one of your go-tos as well. The SIWL product right here, like if I click on the login, this is going to be for your clients that you're looking to get an immediate decision for. Okay, so they're going to give an immediate decision during the time of the application. And I'll show you like how to get in here. Like once you get into the app, right, the back office for SIWL, there's a separate back office for GIWL. Remember, GIWL is the 2-year waiting period. There's no medical questions on the application. If they're 50 to 80, they can get the plan. SIWL, very straightforward. You're going to go to SIWL quick quote once you get in here, and you're literally going to click the client's age. You're going to click on their state, and you're going to press get quote, and it's going to show you all of the let me see here, all of the let me see what happened. Their website's always glitchy, but so just put in a premium, I guess, that you want the client to have. I guess that's what you have to do now. So let me just put in I had to do that before. So just put in like $100 here, face amount. So you could just put in the face amount of 20,000. Okay. So say they want a $20,000 plan. AIGs, they're always a little glitchy with their SIWL product, to be honest with you. Kind of a pain sometimes to pull up this application, not gonna lie to you, but they give an instant decision, which is why I like them. Let's just go back. So basically, we're going to press get quote. Okay, let's just get the quote. It's going to give us all of the options for a 65-year-old male in Alabama. So it goes all the way down to 5,000, all the way up to 30,000. Like I said, some companies, depending on age, won't go up to certain coverage amounts. Just note that. The legacy, right, non-tobacco. So this would be non-smoker. These would be the premiums for each plan tier. And then if they were a smoker, this would be the premium for them over here. And then, like I said, they have a graded policy too, which is a little better than return of premium. Which you'll find out which one they are going to get during the time of the application. It will tell you after the client signs the first email. This client gets leveled, this client gets graded. If they get moved over to graded, the graded option over here really isn't bad with AIG SIWL. Very much more inexpensive than a lot of the other graded policies that I've seen. So depending on medical history and what they can qualify for, sometimes it's not a bad option. But that's how the SIWL product works. In order to write the app, you're going to go right into SIWL e-app. You're going to go right into Pipeline, okay, which is the same system that Mutual of Omaha uses, same system that Transamerica uses, and same system that a lot of companies use per se. Okay. GIWL, on the other hand, this is after you've exhausted every application for the client. There's no more choices for them besides a plan, which would be, to have a 2-year waiting period, a return of premium option. So, matter of fact, they're only going to pay you 55% on this particular application, but basically, like, you would just go over here, press male or female, and then you would pick the coverage amount. Goes from 5,000 all the way to 25,000. You would choose on the state that they're in. You would put in their birthday, so say 8/5/2020 2023 2065 per se, or 1965. And you pick a gender, of course, right? And you would get the quote, and they would tell you exactly what the quote would be, and then you would just start the application right here. So that's pretty much like in a nutshell the main carriers that we work with. I mean, I went over Transamerica, went over AIG, went over Prosperity, went over Aetna. I don't really use John Hancock anymore, to be honest. So I'm not really gonna dive into John Hancock. But make sure you guys are utilizing like the underwriting genie, right? In Slack. Your go-to is always going to be America, right? If they're just looking for final expense coverage, looking for a good policy with good living benefits and double accidental, triple indemnity for travel, maybe they're a smoker, always run America. That's going to be our number one go-to. They're going to give you that instant decision and they treat us very well as well. Um, you know, very good products here. Like I said, we went over the Eagle Premier 40 to 85 in age and 5,000 to 40,000 in coverage. Okay, so that's going to be your number one. We went over Mutual of Omaha, their Living Promise, their IULE plan, and their term options, and their children's whole life. So you guys understand that. And then we went over American Amicable, Senior Choice, and Easy Term, which is a great policy as well. Great policies over here as well. And then we went over AIG, SIWL, and GIWL and Prosperity as well, the level, graded, and modified options. So I hope you guys got value out of this training. Follow us on Instagram, FFL exclusive, and Scottie 3K, SCOTTIEE 3K. Go ahead and shoot me a DM if you're looking to join the agency, if you have any questions. And I hope you guys have a blessed night, and I'll talk to you soon. Let's get it.